Did you forget about our fine? Is it the clamoring? Is it the nonstop Beatles-esque fans that we have? I know you have you're having that John Lennon thing with that guy with Mark Chapman. Mark Chapman's out with Yoko trying to shoot you. Was that not his name? What was his name?
Yoko, John Lennon?
No, the guy who shot John Lennon. Don't we have a friend, Chapman. Mark Chapman?
You're right, Mark Chapman.
It was Mark Chapman. Yeah. Oh, right. Do I know my celebrity killers or what?
There you go.
Yeah. So what gives? Did you was one too busy with a real job?
Well,
to remember this nonsense?
I thought, based on what you said during the last episode, you might be otherwise occupied this week.
This is another episode of Unnecessary Nursery with Brian Sturges, and I am that Brian Sturges. Joined with me is the most handsome, well-respected, funny, brilliant, he's got abs of steel, best climate scientist in the whole wide world, gosh darn it, Dr. Josh Willis.
Hey,
whatever. That's as big as I'm going. The rest will be rage.
Yeah.
Well, my man, I am of course in Poor Life Choices mobile studio again.
Yeah.
However, this time I'm not at a McDonald's. I'm in the hospital parking lot. So we have our first Poor Life Choices baby.
Yeah! Oh, congratulations. Congratulations,
yes,
sir.
I'm officially a daddy, although I've been called Poppy many times. This is certainly an interesting twist of fate. So I'm calling you. I didn't think some of the vernacular verbiage, nomenclatures, whatnot that comes out of my face would be appropriate for moms and their newborns. So I'm sitting in the parking lot. And of course, I just had to go up and I was like, hey, let's acknowledge that I'm an attraction, but we'll get there. So I go up and I'm like, hey, can I get my keys? But I don't want to pay you. I just want my keys back because I got to go sit in my car. Who does that? So I had to be like, and I'm wearing a mask, right? So I had to do a keys for trade, and they're eyeballing because I'm sitting in the car. But that doesn't matter. But so welcome to the world. Oh, should I say her real name or do we do like a thing? Let's do a fake baby name like the lady in Dr. America. It's baby. It's baby boo. It's baby boo. It's my baby boo. It's baby boo. So the lady and I had baby boo at 7:44 p.m. last night. Partly cloudy, chance of showers. Beautiful moment.
Congratulations. Congratulations, sir. That's fantastic news.
Thank you. I immediately swabbed the foot with a 23 and kneecap. Now, I trust her, but for $29.95, you can know. Hi. So go to 23andme / put in promo code UNT for your 0 off discount code. It might say coupon code not valid for these sites. Just go with it. But yeah, so I got baby boo. I saw it. She did the old fashioned, the old V-birth. So luckily she didn't have to have one of those see you next Tuesday sections. So it was Who would pick me as a partner? Like, if anything, several of the people from the hospital are like pulling her aside. Are you sure this man's not keeping? Because look at me, right? I'm surrounded by newborns. Okay. There must be or have been a lot of baby thievery because at the hospital, you have to go through a series of doors. Now, when we came to the hospital, I was dressed in a nice, fine leather dress shoe. some beautifully pressed slacks, the button-down shirt, looking my very best. But
you got dressed up for the
after
occasion.
The first,
yeah,
right. So after the first day, I put on my Abu Danza suit, and it has a couple of it. So this, and then the lady was like, that's clearly what she's going to see you in, right? It's like a genetic thing you must wear, either Adidas or Fila. So
it's imprinting, right? It's for imprinting purposes.
Yes.
So, yeah, I got it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But there must have been like a whole bunch of baby thievery going on. I mean, really, because you got to go through door to door to door, and they have, in order to get in and out, they have like a Zoom camera. Go to Amazon.com/Zoom/ not the Zoom, the Ring. That's what I meant. Not a
the Ring.
You go to the Ring. So you got to press it. So every time I go in and out, which is a lot, because it's a hospital, and it's where people come to either be born or die. Apparently, it's got, hospitals are not unlike florists. It's either good news or bad news. It's never like, how many just thinking of you flowers have you ever sent those? Really, for no reason. Never. No man's ever done that. And if he has done that, know that he's cheating. He's cheating on you currently. He's currently laying on top of another woman or man. So, baby boo. So, I look a little bit like a guy stealing a baby, because security's like, I was reading, like they have, like a museum, they have the history of the hospital on the walls for whatever reason to look at. And I'm sitting there reading it. The security guy's like, "Hey, young man." He starts off with a status, right?
Yeah,
he's probably 4 years older than I am, right? But he starts off young man, and I ignore it because, as I say, you always ignore the first one, because if it's not for you, keep your head down. Then he comes back and he's like, "Can we help you?" I said no words. I just pointed to the thing I was reading and gave this look. And then he just walked away. But, it's little games we play. So I look like a little baby thief, but
I can just imagine, expectant fathers in the waiting room seeing you walk by and just starting their next screenplay immediatally.
Yes, I have gotten some looks, but I can't dress. I can't dress like a CPA, but enough already. Because the lady gets this, $25,000 bed to sleep in that's made of the finest technology, right? And they got 3 apple crates and hay for me to lay on. I have like 1/4 inch of horse manure and hay that's been padded on top of old film equipment, But so as you can imagine, she was like, "Do you guys need any drugs?" I was like, "I'd love some." I mean, my neck's all messed up laying on this thing. It's like a hostel, like my bedding, but she's got the thing. And they gave me one thin sheet, almost like, I know this won't do anything, but it's the illusion of you getting something. So you put the see-through sheet on and you just shiver all night with your neck, because the pillows are, of course, these aren't quality pillows, right? And the lady's she has 40 pillows. She's got like the Game of Thrones chair worth of pillows.
The pillow.
I just have one. Yeah, I have one. Yeah, I have just one. It's the one sad soil pillow on apple crates and hay manure. But she chose, the lady chose to have a child with me, which is, of course, why would you do that? What's wrong with it? So she's here. The baby's healthy. The lady's healthy.
Fantastic.
The cafeteria food is, more importantly, the cafeteria food is not that bad because the doctors eat there, right? So I was a little concerned because my whole thing is just eating my feelings, right? But luckily they got some cold food, they got hot food, they have it is not unlike a dorm college thing where it's like
Yeah.
We have the same hot foods here every night, the same cold foods here every night, and then whatever we're cooking is like, take it or don't. That's pretty.
Wow, that's fantastic.
And of course, now I'm sager than you, and I feel like I know things because I have zero experience, and I've been a father for like 12 hours. But I've started my Norman Rockwell collection of pipes. I actually, in celebration last night, I purchased a new celebratory pipe and had my first dad pipe in the new one. Just not like in front of the child, not like in the room. I didn't light up a cigar.
That into the hospital.
Yeah. They're like, "What's that smell of postpartum?" I was like, "It's just depression." They're like, "No, that's clearly a cigar. It's in your hand." We're watching the billowing happen. It's crazy. And I was holding her not an hour ago, and she decided to just hard dookie. She power moved me, much like the beginning of a meeting. She's like, "Hello, you're gonna be my dad? What do you think of this?" And of course, I allowed the child to sit in the soil until the lady was ready to because I'm not actually allowed to like. Because I look like this, they're like, "So we don't actually want you touching the baby until she's like 4." Just, of course, you clean women side to side. It's all very simple. I learned a lot about how babies TikTok. A lot of apparently, you just drink wine and make a TikTok, and you're like, "It's hard to be a mom." Is that what it is? But it's official. And the screaming of the baby last night it was like Rick's voice. Like, it was like a little baby Rick being like, "Ah! It was stupid." He's like, "It's over." Like it was like a movie where I could see Rick's face. That's actually quite odd. Maybe I should ask questions. But I was just like, the baby scream, I could just see Rick's face. And I'd be like, I got it.
Oh, well, that's. I'm sure Rick will be pleased to hear that your baby
clearly
reminds you.
Well, you guys have already listen. You two were knocking me down. The moment I said I breeded her, you're like, "Oh, well, there's the end of that. That's enough of that, right?" I get it.
That was all Rick.
No, you don't have any friends with babies. You're that couple that when the other couple has a baby, you're like a blackjack dealer. I'm out.
No, we rotate back in after about 16 years.
Yeah. When they can start driving you to your obstetrician.
Exactly. So just
I
when
couldn't
they're
get
rebelling,
wife. Oh yeah. Oh, she's gonna be like, "I saw what you said about me." She's gonna like, when we're in 16 years, when this show is up to double digits finally. She'll look back and she'll be like, Yeah. But it's crazy time, and I'm very happy, of course. So I've been told in a book about being a psychopath and narcissist, you're supposed to like at least pretend you feel something. She's a baby boo. We'll put up a picture, and if there's no picture, it's because I have to edit this on a no Wi-Fi situation in a hospital. I asked the nurses where the business center was, and they looked at me like I was kind of an a-hole. They looked like, "We don't even know what that is." So I was like, "So this is," because it kind of became like a Marriott after a while,
Yeah.
So
I need a fax machine, please.
Well, I was kind of like, "Do you guys have like a little thing?" And they're like, "Your room was the answer." I laughed. I was like, "That wouldn't make sense," but I'm sure the lady. You understand that the lady is cool enough or is drugged up enough to be like, "Hey, is it cool if I go film my podcast? Right now, I know you're in bed holding a baby, and we should spend this time together as a family." But 3 people are, they missed us. So 2 of which are me trying to upload it.
Here's a question about that. Did she send you out to do the podcast? Was it her idea?
No, I have my laptop, and my whole thing was to get on the Wi-Fi. But you know what these people do, right? They give you the free Wi-Fi, but they don't give you the streaming, right? Because they don't want you streaming Netflix on their dime or whatever, right? Which is ridiculous, right? All this money we're spending, just add it to the insurance, right? Why are we paying for it? Just milk the TV bill, not the just milk everything. You know, that's okay. I was having coffee. They ran out of cream this morning. Don't ask any more questions. But this I'm bottling it from the source like Arrowhead. We'll be selling it on my Etsy site. Go to etsy.com/UNT for 5% off when I'm calling the lady Chino. I don't know. It is unlikely that you will see any edits in this episode because I don't care at all. And the last one, it took me forever. You know, like I'm kind of busy. You know what I mean? So I tried to go upstairs and I found the third floor where you could take your mask off, right? Because death and all COVID. But it wouldn't let me get on. It won't let me stream. So then I had to then come out to the car. And poor life choices.
Well,
this is a 1994, but it's a lease.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
It looks like a great family vehicle for you know.
You know what it is? It's
there it
it's
is.
the fact that it has the DVD player.
That's right.
You know.
Yep.
And I mean, I have Al Pacino's Cruising. Maybe I should change to the movie. That's on constantly. But it is
That's
kind
for,
of a demo.
That's for when you're taking the little one to soccer practice while your wife is out working.
I don't like anything you just said. I'm gonna be honest with you. That whole sentence bothered me as a part-time Italian. Of course, my guma is like, all upset about it's her birthday weekend, But I'm like, I was like, honey, good news. They're both have the same birthday. She says, get out. I hate you. And she squeezed a bag of urine in my face and said, never come back. Then all the female nurses, because I got to tell you, they kind of seem like they're on the mom's side. Look at me. And so like 1 o'clock in the morning, I had to get buzzed back in. I'm up. I'm like, hey, like, who are you here to see? There's a sign that said, basically, whatever you do, don't ring this bell unless this is the right place. I thought it was the right place. I rang the bell, like, what do you want? I'm like, I'm here for the lady and baby boo. And she's like, that's, can't you read? She's like, she's not here. You got to go to the next door. I'm like, you guys are all connected. Just, And then they give you bracelets where the lady has a bracelet, I have a bracelet, and the baby has a thing, so that we can't take the. Some people have obviously gone home and raised someone else's child their entire life, but thanks to DNA. So, and it's like I already have a little baby recidivist because they put on a little ankle monitor on it, right? And it's like. Because if you go close to the door, it sets off the alarm.
Yeah.
Right? So they put it on it, and the room is next to the door. And then so I'm just sitting there, and we hear this alarm going off. And we're like the Titanic. We're not worried. And so everyone's looking for the guy still and the baby. They open the room, and we're in the room where the baby they're looking for. And they're like, would you mind moving to the other side of the room? So that was an experience last night. But keep in mind, every 8 hours, it's a new crew of people that are experiencing what's happening here. So then, I was in the intensive unit. But it's 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm trying to get buzzed back in. But I did some interesting parking because, when I am, no one's showing up. And I waited for the guy. Didn't show up for parking. So I just said, I'm just going to go ahead and park where it says don't drive in here and park. So I'm in here. And then I gave him my keys this morning. And I was like, that's my car. They're like, oh, we don't. We're looking for stolen babies. So yeah, so it's a thing. But she got a little thing. And the baby bracelet thingy, was made by Stanley, the tool company.
Oh.
Interestingly enough. Now I know they make like doors, like when you go to Target, you look up, it's like the Stanley sliding door, but I did not know they were in like the baby monitor field. You know?
You know, I thought they were mostly like tape measures. You know?
Right. Banana for the baby. Like,
yeah.
6'4", 240-pound baby. He's an angel. He's an angel. So that's it. I'm in the parking lot. I'm a dad now. I feel sage. I'm going to have a lot more contemplative moments with my old briar pipe. My writing has already improved. They have a baby. That's it.
The end. Right?
By the way, in a sub note, have not seen the neighbor to date. I still have not seen.
Oh.
Have not seen no neighbor.
The neighbor mystery continues.
So.
Wow.
I don't know what she is. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's up, but I got things. I'm sure she's going to love the sound of a crying baby. It was so aggressive. It was like you could hear your life leaving. Like it was just like, it was just like kid. So, like in a cartoon, they make fun of that screaming baby where it's almost like pulsing towards you. Very real. Very real. Very real. So, here we are.
Wow. Well, congratulations. And let me just say on behalf of all of the UNT fans out there, we'd like to take this opportunity to celebrate your new life that you brought into the world and say congratulations and wish you and the lady and baby Boo all the best.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. This will be a very, what I'm told, fun, challenging, good news, expensive journey that we will take. If she's anything like me, she'll be like 26. I'll be like, you need more money, you bum. Take some more acting classes. That'll work out. Yeah, take it. Yeah. But, hey, baby Boo, first of all, in case I die of like coronary disease this should also be like my last will. You know what? This is my last will and testament. The lady gets half. Baby Boo gets half. And then upon the passing of the lady, it goes to baby Boo. Now, when she's like 30, let's come on. Let's see. Sorry I died. My bad. Sorry about that. Sorry that I won't be there for these things that are important to you. Don't be one of these like loose ones. You know what I mean? Be like a good girl. Read books and always negotiate. Always power move. All right? Call your boss by the wrong name. They love it. Never speak first in a negotiation. But if you do, always say, thanks for joining me, Doug. You know what I mean? So if you are going to speak first, it's a power move. Most real estate agents will work for 5%. They're going to want 6. Don't be a sucker. 5's enough. All right? But don't be too cheap. They got to make a living. Okay? Also, inflation. All right? You're going to want to make at least 3%, but that's not really good enough. You really want to be aiming for a minimum of a 7% increase on your wealth every year. Really, if you're making less than 20, I've done something wrong as a father. All right? But you want to be making 7% just for inflation. All right? When I was a kid, hamburgers, 3 cents. Right? That came with a hamburger, a cup of coffee, 2 apple pies, 3 milkshakes. Okay? So, Also, There's going to be a lot of men that are going to try to take advantage of you. These men, I'm going to just trust me. Just stick with me, right? I will train you. Don't trust any man. And of course, you don't want to do any physical contact with a man until you're 30 and you've been dating for at least 4 years, because that's one presidential term. I think that's enough, right? We can agree 4 years is enough. There'll be no sending nudes or online messengers, none of that. All right. You're not getting a cell phone. Okay. You're not getting a Twitter, a Facebook, an Only Streams, an OnlyFans, a Fans Only, a Cameo, a Twitter, a Twitch, an Instagram, a Zillow. Also, get yourself a Lincoln. Now, you're going to be, you might say, why would I want it? They depreciate very quickly. But the thing is, you never buy a new car. Don't buy a new car. I mean, unless, of course, you want to be. But it's a depreciating asset. So, you always want to buy a 2, 3. No offense if you've recently bought a vehicle. There's some people I know. But that's fine. That's okay. I'm sure you can just waste money. Notice that I'm in a car. It's like Glengarry, Glen Ross. But my watch is actually worth more than my car right now. I'm my own Glengarry, Glen Ross. Right? I like an old. I like it. So get an old beater for tax purposes. You can badge it. Let's see. Hire women. I hire pretty much all the people that I hire in my life, except for physical laborers. And not that I wouldn't if you're like thick calf and you live with your roommate for 30 years to play softball. Whatever, Marge, come on over. We're hiring. But keep the ladies thing. All of my accountants, lawyers, and probation. And I'm sure what will be child protective services will all be females. And that's good. Of course, diversity is the answer, and you kind of have to do it whether you want to or not. It's business. So if you own a Fortune 500 company, you just put up different flags once a month and people think you care. But it's, so advertising. So get into marketing. Don't believe anything you see, anything you read. Don't believe, read both sides. The Civil War didn't happen. Who knows? You got to read about it. The Lusitania. If it wasn't for the Lusitania was an inside job. By the way, September 11th, clearly controlled demolition, and the mob killed Kennedy. So, Willis, I'm going to pass this off. So what's some just general life advice we should give Baby Boo?
Well,
man, since we're old men.
Yeah, those are some fine words to live by that you delivered there for Baby Boo and everyone else too. I would say, try not to rhyme when you speak, because it annoys people.
Yeah.
And, pay attention in class, right? Do some learning, right?
Learning's good.
Yeah. Don't ride around on these little scooters, all right?
Those lime things.
That's right. Yeah, old guys don't like that, and you'll never get old riding around on one of those, which sounds like a good thing, but it's not. It's not a good thing. Yeah. So don't ride around on scooters, and don't do it. Floss and brush your teeth. That's what I would say.
Yes,
big one.
Yes, that's a big one.
You got to do both. Do both.
You have a brisket, you're going to want to get in there. All right?
That's right. That's right.
If you're on a date, so I wanted to post. I said, congratulations, I had a non-binary. I don't need a bunch of these liberal California people who are in comedy rip me apart. You know what I mean? She identifies as a baby. What's funny is that on the medical form, there wasn't like a third option. Like they weren't, right? Which goes to show you that, well, I guess we don't need to say that. The medical field has already given their opinion on the number of genders there are, which is funny. However, when I signed up for NBC's Peacock, it asked me if I was male, female, non-binary, or asexual. And I'm like, I'm trying to watch Friends. You cool, bitch? You know,
it's kind of like answering the question.
What nosy bird? You know. So I signed up as non-binary. We don't need to know. Whatever.
Yeah.
We're asking too many questions. See, I have all of the parking attendant guys are looking at me like, I'm sitting here running my V8 air conditioning in a parking lot where it says no idling. It's hot. I'm in a tracksuit in the middle of the day. I'm in Bakersfield. I like to think the good doctors at Bakersfield Memorial for some wonderful job. Ignore the Bakersfield, you know. But classic COVID baby, right? You know, and she's a COVID and vacation baby and an argument baby.
Oh,
and if I may, that she was almost predestined, but you know, whatever the smart word would be, because the lady was going to go see her family during COVID, right? Because she was sick. And the ladies, as you will find out, honey, you're going to get a bunch of ideas in your mind. So she's like, well, I'm going to now drive to Colorado by myself. And I was going to stay home and finish my screenplay and get work done. And she was supposed to be a trip, but then it's like a 2-day drive. And then like 2 days before, I was like, let me ask you a question. Do you want me to go with me? Like, when someone clearly regrets the decision they've made, but doesn't want to be like, I really don't want to do this anymore. So I said, I know you want to go alone, but if you wanted me to go, I would go with you. She's like, please go. So, and I also had a gig. I had a harmonica session. And for some reason, when I did an update, it was my fault. I somehow turned off my text message notifications. Unknowing.
Oh.
Right? So I emailed the guy about a gig, and I go, blah, blah, blah. But now I'm on the road, but we're only supposed to, he's like, I did a spec thing and I have to re-record it the next week. Well, I emailed him my number. I don't hear from him. I'm like, I don't hear from nobody. We go to lunch. We go to like Marie Callender's, like, give me your phone number. We'll text you when it's ready. It doesn't text, right? No, I'm not thinking nothing. I'm thinking I'm out in Colorado or whatever. And then my car, to top it all off, my car breaks down on the top of a mountain, right? On like a scenic overlook. The cable snapped, the drive cable. So there's nothing. I'm dead. I bring it to them. I'm waiting for their text message to win. I didn't know. I'm not getting text messages. So the guy about the job moved on. I lost the job. My car broke down. So it cost me, that vacation cost me like thousands of dollars. And then, of course, she was going on a vacation to get away from me. So now we're together. Now we're stuck. I'm supposed to be, now it's like 4 days that we're waiting to get the car fixed at a hotel. She's over. So we're in. So if you ever watch the movie or the show Longmire on Netflix, it's filmed in this like old Western town in New Mexico. And we stayed at the hotel that is the famous hotel that they filmed at, all of that stuff. Well, she was giving me lip-see. And I said, I'm going to show you what it's like. So I laid her down upon a bed where thousands of people since 1884 have fornicated on. And, I gave her the old 1-2 because we had done it. And then here we are 9 months later in Bakersfield with a baby. But all of those things.
So romantic.
It is. It really is. But I didn't get the job. I didn't get the messages. The car broke down. We stayed extra time. The 4-day trip turned into 10 days. It's like day 10. I've got no, and then I would try to write, and then it was like, she was like, you're being rude. You need to spend time with my face. But here we are, and that's romance. That's romance. So when I watch one of these sitcoms, I'm like, that's not. That's just ridiculous. My inability to operate Apple's iOS is essentially why we have a daughter today. So,
well,
the gentleman, read the instructions. If there is ever a time to read the instructions, so
yes.
Not only did I lose out on the job, I paid for a bunch of stuff. Plus, I had to pay for a car repair, and now I have at least 25 years of bill. So, my hitting one button on my phone will cost whatever, 1.3 million over the time. But we got money, Uncle Moneybags. That's what we're gonna call you. And we're just gonna say, like when the mom kills somebody, you just put an envelope of cash in the wife's mailbox once a month. It's for you, Tina. For you. Oh, and if I get whacked, I probably deserved it. Don't you don't need the revenge. I got things coming. There's just don't worry about it. Find yourself a nice man or woman, a partner, whatever you want. As long as you want to go to heaven. She was born in a Catholic hospital. It's like, whatever. That's up to you. But, don't play softball with a roommate, or you might go to a very hot place. Miami, that's where they have the tournament every year.
Wow.
I would have had Dr. America come deliver the baby. That would have been an interesting. It was interesting to see it come out, and then the way they do it is like while you're having this beautiful moment bonding with a child. I saw her. It was like a cannery of tuna. She was just slicing shit out, so it up, right? And it was so funny because she's so numbed out, and the mom, like, you have a beautiful moment. You just look down and there's like carnage. It's like Dedang in '73. It's just, and then they ask you if you want to keep the placenta. And then I said, why do they do that? And the answer was, because some people eat it. I said, why? Because it gives the baby it gives you. I said, you people are animals. Let me tell you what, judgment free, but if you cut the placenta out, took it home and made it with some au gratin potatoes, I got a problem with who you are as a person. What do you have, a cherry Coke? Do you do you go to the sommelier? You're like, what pairs well with placenta now? And I said, it has a nice oaky afterbirth. We're thinking maybe a cab. I don't know if that'd be too heavy. But the doctor is just like, while you're distracted having these beautiful bonding moments, I mean, they're down there. Like, and I love doctors, but let's be honest, they're all billable out, except for Dr. America, who actually does it. But for me, most doctors are like mechanics. It's just a job. You're a part number you get. They sew you up. They send you out. It's billable hours and insurance. I mean, she's not like Ghana making cleft pallets, right? She's, she's billing for every bag of saline. So it's a money. It's also just interesting. As a business person, I'm like breaking down. Also, our doctor's birthday was the 4th of July, and I was like, I think you're trying to get this baby out before you go on vacation. And the lady said for me not to say anything. But I said, we'll compromise. I'm going to call on Monday. Can I make an appointment for this week? And if they say she's out of town, I know she's like, we got to get this baby going. I got to go to Boca. You probably have some only. And don't forget nurses. They're the girls. Please don't become a nurse. Become a doctor. Because the doctors help people, but the nurses are just like savages. And I don't know if you know this, but nurses are a fantasy of men. They don't candy stripe here no more, although I inquired. I was like, when does the cigarette girl come around? You know, like, and they said, sure. You have to go. But crazy, man. Crazy. So I'm not going to do a bunch of editing. This isn't going to go very long. In fact, we'll wrap it up in a few. You know, we're not doing. I couldn't figure out the TikToks last week, let alone me trying to do this. I'm uploading the top. I'm putting this in the middle. I'm putting the end in. I'm uploading it. And,
beautiful.
That's it.
I love it.
So, Willis, again, any final thoughts? Now, although you're not a dad, you have been called. Yeah, Dr. America has said, "Spank me, daddy," several times.
Yeah, Daddy-O.
After 20 years, I'm sure you got fresh. Daddy-O, I know you like to wear big shirts with flames and listen to Big Bad Voodoo Daddy while you fornicate with your wife. You're like a big brass section.
Yeah, I guess.
Do you remember the movie Swingers?
Yeah.
John Favreau and Vince Vaughn. Great movie, fantastic, low budget. I mean, it was actually still like $2 million, but like to them, that's not correct. But they go at the end of the movie. They go to the club, which was the Derby in Los Angeles. That I, Cliff, all the boys that we had played at the Derby. They got to a point where I think we were doing like maybe once a month or once every 2 months, and I was double booking the rooms. So I was playing with one band in the one side, and I cross over. I was getting two, right? But we used to play there. But that closing scene where they're dancing that swing dance was the Derby, and and the great band, and it's now a Chase Bank. So that's fun. That's fun. And I will say that I can say confidently that 90% or more of the clubs that I have played at in Los Angeles have closed and are no longer here. Now, the ones that are still here, the Troubadour, I played there. Harvell's. But now we're getting smaller venues here, right? You know, but all the Derby and 14 Below and the Temple Bar and all these. I mean, we played. I had hair. It was spiky. I had a soul patch and those shirts that were going out shirts that were in the mid 2000s that were the bad stripes. Remember those? They had the big collars, kind of thing. But it's just, you know, changes. Derby closes. I have a daughter. These are all very relevant. But what an interesting world that. I mean, technology is moving at a pace where every year it does more than whatever the last 10 million years. Right? They're finding DNA. They found a dinosaur hoof, and they're like, we got DNA, and the little bugs are on it. They're still alive. They're just unfrozen. They threw it in a Cuisinart. They put it on for 60 seconds, and they can test that stuff. And I don't really like it. I mean, technology obviously it's a thing, but every guy who's coming to get your car is looking at the phone here. You know, everyone's, what do you do all day? And I guess I'm worried as an old man.
Yeah.
You know, I'm looking around at these kids, these teenagers, and they're all head down. They all have like what I have, but without the weight of actual problems. They're just like, and no one looks up. It's social, and dating is all weird now. And, of course, I hope that the acceptance and diversity and all that jazz, all that whatnot keeps going forward. That's great. And I probably won't. I mean, let's be honest. I don't know if you guys remember the 1960s, but it seems like that was 2 weeks ago, which is why a lot of people still have problems with the way things are. Actually, I'm in Bakersfield where they had those riots. Like like on the news where they were pillaging all that stuff. I was right here.
Wow.
But the technology, it's she will. The nurse was like, my 7-year-old is all mad because I won't get her a phone and put her on TikTok. And I'm like, and then I said that I was on TikTok, and she's like, this is why. You're the sort of guy we don't need to some half a fake Italian wearing a tracksuit, It'll be interesting, and everything is online, digital, right? I mean, there's no privacy. So kid, like, you don't do stuff because everything's forever now. Like, that's why when I write my stories, they take place before technology because I hate it. So, my last was 1969. You put probably a nickel in, connecting, whatever. Long Island 575, connecting. Yeah. Oh, Beatrice had her baby. Oh, really? Yeah. Ladies. There you go. This guy's on his phone. Everyone's on their phone, right? Everyone checks their phone in between. I don't know what she's going to do, but I don't want it. No, none of this. Don't send nudes. They're going to come up. I mean, what most likely to be our future president was once a side piece of Montel Williams. So it's a weird world. So, we had a president named Trump for a while. Now, if we go back and forth, we give people hope we take it away. We give them hope we take it away. But the important thing is you're paying $4.49 for a gallon of gas. So you're so concerned with what is irrelevant to you outside of your budget. Take care, number one. You're your own business. Everyone's a sole proprietor. Look, I'm tenting my fingers like Kevin O'Leary. You are right. Diversify your portfolio. Wu-Tang Financial. Listen, watch the Chappelle Show. All right. Don't believe in science. We didn't land on the moon. Stanley Kubrick filmed that. Stephen King said that anytime there's any reference to what's not in the book like that is a reference to the Apollo landing. The production unit coordinator has come out and said, and he has confirmed that it was fake. So just don't listen to the government, okay? They don't have your best interest at heart. Read more because they don't care about most people, especially if you live in a poor area of the country. You're going to get these books from the 80s that are still like, use some words that are considered offensive today. All right? So be good. No nudes. Read a book. Question authority. Balls and groin. If you need to attack an assailant, go towards their testiculars or their oculars, or both. And what is called a Johnny Cage moment from a fine organization called Mortal Kombat. Jim, So, you any Uncle Joshy final words for the baby before we sign off, and I go back in before she thinks I went out for a pack of Chesterfields forever?
I guess the only thing I could think of is don't date the drummer. That's it.
Yeah. Stick with musicians. This has been another episode of Unnecessary Talk with Brian Sturges, and I am that Brian Sturges. You can follow me to the best dad in the world trophy. That's right. I bought it myself like Michael Scott, but it's mine. Right? So follow me at Mr. Brian Sturges. I'll start posting. Whatever. Follow me, don't follow me. I don't really care. Follow at Josh K. Willis. Timothy Hall has, of course, been arrested for something called PCP. He was supposed to be back. He may or may not be back next week, depending on how the trial goes. And, of course, Baby Boo, Daddy loves you. And you might hear rumors about me. They're all true, but don't love me any less, please.